I thought this game was really about. I like that you asked a defensive question. This was a defensive win. 15 steals, 10 blocks. I think that hasn't been done since 1987. 42 disruptions, which is what we count as like steals, blocks, deflections, offensive fouls committed. Our activity, we went small there at the end of the third. We tried a different lineup, and our guys were flying in. 𝗙𝗢𝗙𝗪𝗓, we had Jameer, JC, and they got us back in the game because we were struggling just in that little stretch. And I think that's a good development for our team, that we can try different things, go with different lineups, went small, the activity brought up, and then we finished the game, like you said, the last couple of possessions, and obviously it was a great stop by Jameer at the end. That's why he's here. That's what he's capable of. But we won the game because of our defense.
I think it's fair to call it maybe a chippier game than average. Did you like seeing that kind of fire and intensity of your guys being more physical and more active vocally to the other team?
I think that's what we've been doing here lately. That's the nature of how games are. You got to embrace the competition. They're a big physical team, and I thought we answered that very strongly.
You mentioned the steals and the blocks as well, too. Tony was filling in for Drew, and he mentioned Alex's ability. Shot blocking is one thing, but his ability to do it on the move. How has that evolved for him, and why is it so beneficial to the way you guys do defend?
Well, his ability to execute multiple coverages throughout the game. We had him up high on the pick and rolls early to start the game. We had him switching on guards, and then he's just roaming around there, covering every drive into the paint. Like, it's a really unique skill set he has, and we're continuing to get better with things that we can put him in. But that's a unique player, and he does unique things.
In a game where they out-rebounded you as much as they did, and I know that was a point of emphasis going into that for you, was just trying to limit what they were doing on the glass. How much did the guys have to just find that fight within to just, okay, that might be the one area they beat us on, but we can't let them beat us A, B, and C, and that's where we've got to kind of take it up a notch?
Yeah, I mean, the possession game is a big thing in the NBA. They hurt us on the boards, but we turned them over. And then I think the last few minutes of the game, they didn't rebound, and we cleaned all those up. So, there are lessons within the game that you can learn, and I thought we really answered that in the fourth quarter. They only had 24, I believe. Is that the right? Yep. We finished with the defensive quarter, and that's what we kept talking about, is that we're going to win this game with our defense, and that's what happened.
I know there was a lot going into this just with the rising stars and the timing of it. Your three rising stars had great performances. I don't know if there's a coincidence there, but just does that kind of solidify them getting the nod, but then also too just making sure that people are understanding the growth and the confidence that they're playing with right now?
I think the biggest thing is the reason those guys got into those games, and we talk about this with our whole team, is they just focused on the process. So that happened last night. We acknowledged them. That was great. We want to always celebrate our guys, but they had a basketball game to play tonight, and they prepared like they always do. And I think those are good lessons, because you're going to have lots of things happen throughout your career, some really positive stuff like that, but you got to go play the game. And I thought our guys stepped up and played the game tonight. That was really good.
Brian, what did you like about how your team executed down the stretch offensively?
Pretty good. Really, we had the one possession I didn't love, but other than that, we got some good shots. Obviously we scored on a couple, and Bump hit a big shot that cut it to one, and then we really got stops. You think about Keyshawn, we got a steal. Keyshawn goes in for a fast break. We get a stop. They got a foul. So like we said, sometimes it's not always going to be pretty. Offensively, the game can get really physical on both teams, but like I said, two of those possessions we scored on is because we started with our defense.
What was your message to your players immediately in the locker room after the game?
I think it was just what we started the fourth quarter. We talked about we're going to win this game by getting stops, and I said that's what we did. I said that's where we're continuing to grow. You want your defense to carry. Those are the things that you want to be able to do down late stretches of the game. Can you get stops? Can you execute the game plan? I thought our guys did a really terrific job of that.
How much better is Alex's motor now compared to what it was when he in training camp of his rookie year?
I think it's just more consistent. I always thought he had a good motor, but you got to learn the NBA and going through the fire, like I've mentioned before. he's just learning to do it consistently now. And he's kind of experienced a lot of things. And he's still got some more experiences to come, like they all do because they're young guys. But it's just his consistency has been growing. And that's the thing that's been very impressive this year.
Coach, can you speak to the team's growth in clutch time instances in general throughout the season?
Yeah, I think we talked about this. We've been in a lot of these close games lately. And these are great lessons for us because the margins are thin and you want to be able to execute on both ends. So like even, tonight we had to execute to end the game defensive things. They have a need to where they need to score, we get to stop. We're up 4. We're talking about switching, not fouling. We execute that. Those little things matter, and we always review those things. We look at those things, but to beat them is the best way to learn, and that's the most important thing.
I think just locking in defensively, getting stops down the end, that was the biggest thing.
It seemed like you and 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗓 had a great battle tonight. How would you describe that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to be physical on the boards, so, I just responded with physicality.
Alex, just thoughts overall on being a rising star again with you, Tre and Keyshawn as well.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting that I get to go there with 2 of my teammates again. We're going to have a good time. It's a good experience, so I'm excited to play that game.
And 6 blocks for you tonight. I mean, obviously, you get blocks all the time, but was there anything tonight in particular that you were seeing that was just helping you out defensively?
I feel like my teammates walling up and then just trying to be physical and go in and get them really.
Hey, Alex. Can you speak to 𝗙𝗢𝗙𝗪 and his defense, both on that last possession against Shaedon Sharpe and the whole game?
Yeah, I mean, he's a lockdown defender. He really is, and we just seen it on that last play. He gets under people's skin, makes them uncomfortable. It's hard to bring the ball up against him. So yeah, he's a big-time defender.
Be it 𝗙𝗢𝗪 or Bilal or Keyshawn or anybody on the wing, really, when you have perimeter defense like that, do you feel more at ease in the paint, defensively?
Yeah, most definitely. I know they're going to be active. I know they're going to be in the passing lane or whatever. I know they'll be there, and they probably can pressure more because they know I'm back there too. So it's a win-win.
Salut Alex. A quick question about your defensive impact today. It was quite impressive. Of course, the 5 blocks, but apart from that, you were very present within the paint, and also you grabbed a bit more rebound than you did the past games. This is what you said in the beginning of the season. This is one of your main objectives. You want to be more present in the paint. How does it work out so far for you?
Yeah, most definitely. I want to be as impactful as I can be defensively. I still want to take more rebounds. That's a goal of mine. And just getting blocks, being active, because that's what's really impactful in winning games.
Alex, as a team, the 16 steals you guys had, but also turning them over for nearly 30 points in the ball game. How much does the activity you all have, not just yourself defensively, but as well too the way that the guys on the perimeter can defend and create deflections, disruptions, what does that do to fuel you guys offensively?
Yeah, it's a big part of what we do. I would say when we get a steal and we start the break, it always ends in something good for us. I feel like a corner 3 or a wide open layup, but that's our best offense, I think.
Do you guys also feel, at least when you're physically on the floor and you get those opportunities to move and transition, but then you get into that half court and then the ball starts moving, does it feel as fluid and as flowing as it seems to appear to us watching it on the floor?
Yeah, it definitely does. Whenever we have a lot of passing possessions, it definitely feels like we're sharing the ball, and it definitely feels that way.
When Tre got here with the trade, he mentioned the ball has energy. So it's one thing for him to score, but he wants to also get you all involved. Do you feel, even without him on the floor, that he's kind of adding to that conversation of making sure that ball doesn't stick offensively, to give it energy, knowing that, you know, if you make that extra pass, eventually that ball's going to come back to you, if it's this possession or that next possession, but you guys are not being unselfish?
Yeah, I think it definitely does. Like, I feel like that just goes in, like, in playing the right way. When you play the right way, there's like a lot of passes before the shot. I feel like it's like a higher percentage. Just that's the way like basketball is. So like definitely like I feel like the ball finds energy, and you sharing the ball, playing with energy and making the right play. Like I feel like that makes you a better basketball player.
Alex, career high in shot attempts tonight. I'm wondering, was there something about the way they were defending you that made you a little bit more aggressive offensively?
Yeah, they weren't late reading on my pops, so I had a lot of open looks. I would have loved to knock down a few more, but yeah, that is a lot of shots. I think, you know, I would have loved to be more efficient tonight, but it is what it is. You can't be efficient every night yet, so just working on it.
It helps a lot, especially just allowing us to pressure the ball even full court, just knowing that he's down there. He's going to either alter the shot or he's going to get the block. We just got to make sure we boxing out his man so his man not getting the rebound.
And just thoughts on being a rising star in your first year?
Excited just for the experience to be out there, to be honest. It's just a blessing, I would say.
What do you think about the stop that 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗡 got on 𝗫𝗫𝗎𝗪 down the stretch there?
Huge stop. Huge stop. We all know him as a defender. We knew he was going to end up coming up with the stop regardless. But it was just huge coming in. Probably I don't even know how many minutes he played in the fourth, or if he did play the fourth. But as soon as he got his number called, came in the court, got a stop. It was huge.
And I asked Alex about his battle with Donovan Clingan. He said it was very physical. What'd you see from those two tonight?
Yeah, for sure was physical. I feel like Clingan got a few buckets off of, or a few rebounds, a few tip-ins, or a few buckets of Alex having to go help and us not being there to help him out. But I feel like he for sure held his ground today or tonight.
Hey Tre, you had a bucket, I think in the second quarter, where you like Euro stepped Denny and then you hit a floater over Donovan Clingan. Can you take me through that play?
Well, he just came off, was trying to turn the corner, he took it away, and I was just going. It was fast, but I was still debating if I wanted to, because I knew I was going to create space regardless. But debating in my mind if I wanted to just go ahead and shoot this side step three or just go ahead and try to attack. And I chose attack. And next thing I know, Danny's standing right there. Got to get around him somehow.
Was that the tallest player you've had to hit a floater over, you think?
He taller than Alex?
Yeah, I think by like an inch maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Or Wemby.
True. Yeah. Overall tonight, did you make an extra effort to get into the paint and go? I guess overall going forward, are you making paint touches an increased part of your game offensively, you think?
I wouldn't say it's like a main focus, but I feel like if I could shoot the pull-up in the paint or get like a floater off in the paint and then having to shoot it like at the free throw line, I guess like a better percentage shot, even though pull-ups aren't too highly smiled upon, I guess. So I feel like if I'm able to touch the paint and be better.
Tre, you have a lot of these highly efficient shooting games from three. What does the work look like behind those type of shots?
Really just making sure everything's consistent. Even with my movement, getting my feet up under me and the follow through, and just keeping the same, I guess, trying to hold my release. I feel like, especially going back watching the Charlotte game, I feel like I left a lot of points on the table, especially a lot of threes, just pulling my release early, even though it felt good. So just trying to make an effort, a conscious effort of holding my release. I feel like that's going to help me out, especially probably not next few games, but for sure in the future.
And, like, what's some of the shooters that you grew up watching that you wanted to emulate?
I really wasn't watching too many shooters. Like, I'd watch, like, Klay, how he doesn't really have to dip the ball to shoot, how everything he does, it can stay above his chest. But that's probably the main guy I watch shoot, and I would say, or Ray Allen's footwork. My dad used to have me watch a lot of Reggie Miller, how he used to come off screens and move and stuff like that, but that was probably about it.
Have you been told who is on your Rising Stars team yet and what team you're on?
I had saw like a little picture, but I ain't even look at it. I just saw him on some blue team.
You're with Team T-Mac.
Oh, okay.
Aside from Alex, do you want to know who else you're playing with?
Yeah, that's fine.
Con Knipple, AJ Mitchell, Cam Spencer, Jalen Tyson, and Khalil Ware. You feel like that squad's pretty...
You said Khalil and Alex?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's over. That's over. It's over. I feel like that's a pretty good team, especially at the rim. And then Alex having somebody tall beside him, let him get to stretch the floor a little bit. I know you're excited about that. But, yeah, I feel like it's going to be fun.
I know I've asked you about the footwork, but you just mentioned Reggie Miller and Ray Allen. Was there something specific about the footwork that your dad wanted you to notice that you have, it's kind of been like in the back of your head every single day, that now is just kind of that second nature thing you don't even realize you're doing anymore?
I feel like he was showing me more about, like, how they get their feet balanced or up under them, I feel. And the speed that they're going at, like, I feel like they was going full speed and still found a way to get balanced. And I kind of took that into, like, my own thing. Like, once my feet got to, like, a certain spot or certain placement, I feel like everything else was, no matter how I was leaning or left or right or off balance, I feel like I was pretty good to get the shot off.
Has there been a shot, because we see you take these shots, and to us, even though we see you put the work in, it's still like, wow. Has there been a shot this season that you've taken that has surprised you, even though you know the work you've put in to take these shots?
I wouldn't say they surprised me. Sometimes when I re-watch it, like some of the shots I shoot in transition in those corners, like those are kind of crazy because like the situation of it, sometimes they be bad passes and I just dribble and shoot it. But I feel like that's like the only moment. But in game, nah, I don't really think so. Because sometimes in my mind, I really already have it made up. Like I'm finna shoot it. To be honest with you, I'm not even gonna fake it. Like, cause it's a crazy shot to others because probably don't work on it, but you gotta think the defender's thinking the same thing. Or like, he's not gonna shoot that. So I'm shooting it with no hand in my face. To me, it's just a regular corner three. But to them, it's like, oh, we in transition, this, that, and the third. This could have been the best shot we was gonna get. Or not.